the heck could this be? Hello, Parts Cannon Garage. You're on speakerphone because I have a wrench in my hand.
Yes, yes. This is Claude, Berkshire, Huffingtonson the Third.
Okay there. Hi, Claude.
Yes, yes. Let's dispense with the pleasantries, shall we? My son, Charles Benedict, told me you were selling a Longshaft outboard motor. Is that true?
Not really. I'm just some dude in a barn. Not a real business. How did your son find out about this?
I rarely listen to the child, to be honest. Let's cut to the chase. This Longshaft you're selling would be perfect for the new sailing yacht.
Well, I don't even know if it works yet, but it's sitting right next to me here. Hopefully if I get it running, I'll give you a call.
How does 10,000 sound? $10,000? Perhaps it's running now?
It's still not running, no.
But no,
Oh, well, okay, Claude, for $10,000, I can have it ready by tomorrow.
Splendid! Well, I must really get back to the yacht club. I say good day to you.
Well, I guess we better get started.
Hands up if you with it, drop it.
And here we go on step 1 of our 8-step process. Step 1 is inspect. So we take a quick look around, see if there's anything broken or missing. Make some general comments on the condition possibly, or at least observations. Looks pretty good. I don't see anything missing. I think this is relatively new. Now in this one I do have one piece of information. I was told that for some reason the onboard gas tank, which is a great feature, does not work. It only will run, or it last ran 5 to 7 years ago using the external tank only. So let's take the top off. Looks pretty good. Okay, there's the tank. Certainly looks different from the other outboards we opened. There's the plug. Oh, this is a single cylinder rather than the twins we've been working on. Something new. Pretty straightforward here. Here's your choke. Feels pretty smooth. Kill switch, which is like pressing on a rock. I don't know about that one. This looks okay. If you want to take... Clamps look okay. This one looks like it's missing a little piece, but no big deal. Let's try the throttle. Feels very smooth. Almost too smooth. It is working. Okay. Now this is interesting. I'm going to spin this around so we can get it in the light here a little bit. The amount of plumbing with this extra tank is pretty impressive. So here's the, oh, I can use my new finger. Got this at Dollar Tree. I love it. Okay, tour of the plumbing. Some early diagnosis on the problem. This is the internal tank. Over here, we have the external connector. The bottom of the internal tank, see the gas line coming out, goes over this way to a valve, keeps going over. Then there's a 3-way connection here, where you can see the external feed coming in, and it comes up into this little white box looking thing here. That's where the other tank feeds into. And it goes over here through this fuel filter and then into the carb. So pretty straightforward. And my guess right now is that this valve is broken because it turns all the way around freely. It feels like it's doing nothing, and it feels like if I wiggled this enough, this handle would just come right off. So I have a feeling that, oh, and there you go. So I don't know if this isn't moving anything inside there or if it's just, see if we can take a look inside. Okay, interesting. Not sure what to make of that. So we'll get back to that. Step 2. This motor looks very clean, but we're going to give it a quick wash anyway. What we do. No gratuitous before and after photos on this one because honestly they look exactly the same. I think I removed one spider web and maybe one smudge of grease up here. So I think that's a good sign. It does smell nice though. We have the best smelling outboards in town, Parts Canning Garage. We have successfully completed step 1 and 2, inspecting and cleaning. We're now on to 3, which is checking for spark. And on every other motor, I've pulled off the starter, ripcord, if you will, and I'm going to try that again on this. I really like to cheat and spin the flywheel with the drill, so let's get that off. So when I went down to Family Dollar to get some ice cube trays, actually, they were out of trays, so now I'm using fancy deviled egg trays to hold all the nuts and bolts. It works. It adds a little class to the garage as well. Quite lovely. All right, this does have some linkage. And this thing only allows you to start it when it's in neutral. Pop that out. There we go. Okay, and there is a nut up there. Take a look at that if you like. So we're going to put our socket on there and spin it. Yes, 3/4 looks good. Okay, we need to pull that plug out, which again is probably a 13/16. Here it is. I need an extension because it's under that tank. That might work. There we go. Okay, here's our spark plug. Taking a look at it. I mean, it pretty much looks brand new. It's a good sign. A lot of these kicker or long shaft motors, they sit on the back of sailboats forever, and they're hardly ever used. You never know, though. You think I know what I'm talking about? Well, you know. So here's the plug. Let me try it, and then I'll pull you in, see what happens. Angle this over. Because this thing tends to want to rotate. Probably a tensioner somewhere. Here it is. Makes it rotate a little less freely. Okay. All right, spark looks really good on this one. we are on to step 4, checking for compression. Pretty happy about that spark. That's a nice surprise. Let's see what this thing will do. And we're also going to be seeing our new digital compression tester. And I can't wait to try that on the other motors and see if those low readings in the previous videos were correct. But let's give this one a shot. All right, so we are using the Azuno cylinder compression tester kit. Let's see. Basically the same thing as the other tester, except a digital gauge. Still 2-piece, which is nice, makes it a lot easier to screw in. You don't have to spin this valve around in your hand a bunch of times. This one's a little tricky because it's way under here, but okay. I'll put a link to this in the description. There it is. She's a beauty. You have on-off. I'm pretty excited that it's backlit, and you have units. It's in PSI, and it can go to kilopascals, and there's a battery meter on the right. Azuno, measuring tomorrow's outboards. Right here. This is so exciting because I don't know what it says. What does it say? 6.5 bar? No, apparently there's another unit. And another one. So we have PSI. Whoa, 94.5. Oh, it's converting. That's wonderful. 94. Ooh, that was a good sound. All right, let's try it again. PSI from the start. Hopefully you can see that. Whoa. 96.2. Wow. Okay. We're going to call that 95-ish. And we're going to write that on the board. I'm very excited, if you can't tell. Spark. Yes. Compression 95. Issues. Probably should write a couple here. Broken fuel valve. Hard to press. Stop button. What do we do first here? Do I actually try to attempt to fix this? Or do we go with an external? I really like the internal. How does this come off? Let's pop it off. What the heck? Here's the valve I've been talking about. The handle just comes right off. It looks like there's supposed to be maybe a slot. I don't know. Let's take it off and see what we're dealing with. Leave the handle off for now. 2 Phillips screws. So what I'm going to do is just pull off those hose clamps and take the valve out, and we'll take a look at it. Okay. That was pretty easy. That's what it looks like. If you can see that, when the valve is vertical, in only one direction, it is open. This bottle happens to fit perfectly in one side, so we'll use this bottle to simulate the tank. Just jam that in there. Good enough. Hold it over the disgusting bucket, and let's see if anything comes out of the other side. Hold this in front of here. Okay. Nothing. I can't even squeeze the bottle. Now let's rotate that slot 180 degrees. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Oh, wonderful. Look at that. Flowing really freely. Great. So, I guess you really don't need that lever. Set that back to off. At this point, we're going to assume that the fuel system is fixed, although you need a screwdriver, but big deal. And we're going to put this into the barrel and see what happens. Now this is the long shaft. I mean, it's incredibly long. It's almost touching the sludge down there. So, so this should be good. Let's get going. Time to put the pull starter back on. Today I'll be using a little bit of True Fuel, the fuel when you want to pay 10 times the price of regular gasoline plus 2-stroke. It's outrageously expensive, but it's nice if you're lazy. It's 40-to-1 premix. I think that should be enough to prove the point. So 20 minutes and 3 stainless steel hose clamps later, we have stopped the leak. And that's what it looks like now. Before it was 3, there was a zip tie on the top and 2 little paperclip looking things. And now it is 3 marine grade stainless steel clamps. And it does not look to be leaking. Okay, the plug's back in. It's not leaking fuel. The case is filled with fuel, so we have the fire extinguisher. Let's give it a rip. Choke is on full. The handle is in like the middle position, we'll call it. There's just a rabbit and a turtle on the handle, no indication of where to start like some of the other motors. Okay, let's see what happens. Holy smokes. Did anyone hear that? We have smoke in the room. I'm going to go to a half choke. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God. Turning the choke off. And it's shooting water out, so we're checking for water. Holy crap. This thing runs fantastic. Wow, it's not even warmed up. Okay, yeah, now for that kill switch. Let's see if it idles. Can everyone see this? We have a running, idling engine for the first time in parts canning garage history. Our history is only about 3 weeks old, but still. And the kill switch actually works. Okay, my eyes are burning. Is that normal? Let's try it one more time. Wow, the kill switch is wonderful. It's like touching a phone screen. It's so sensitive. Well, we have a runner. I can barely breathe and see it here, so I'm going to open the garage door and we'll do a summary in a minute. that just about wraps up this episode of Parts Canning Garage. We have our first successful motor. I'm still working on acquiring an aluminum boat so that we can put this in the water and test it, but this one seems like a beauty. The only thing that I will look into is this tiny little black plastic lever, which looks like it's worth about 25 cents. And otherwise you can use a screwdriver to just give a half turn to that valve. But I will try to find this to make this complete. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm having a lot of fun with this. And next up, just to remind you, Black Magic, which is yet another Mercury, but it's old school, so I'm sure it looks absolutely nothing like this. Stick around. Bye-bye.